SimCity, probably one of my favorite city building games to ever been made. Having started off as an Apple Macintosh game and later made famous with the SNES port of the same name with this one-to-one rendition of the original game, which brought the series to a brand new audience to the series. But here's something you don't know about the game. Did you know that there was supposed to be an NES version again that was supposed to be released at the same time as the SNES version? See, I didn't know until the holidays that the original NES version was dumped and uploaded for people to play, thanks in hand to the Video Game History Foundation, who even put out articles on chronicling the once lost software. Before this all happened, the only form of gameplay we saw was shown in 1991 at the Winter Consumer Electronics Show, or CES for short.
Build the highways, factories, and homes. Figure out the zoning and set and collect the taxes from your citizens. As your city gets bigger, so do its problems.
But development was cancelled soon after. One can speculate due to the release of the Super Nintendo in August can render the NES version obsolete, hence why I got axed by Nintendo or Maxis. It wasn't until 2017 in a used game shop in Seattle where the owner of not one, but two playable prototypes of SimCity for the NES. This was the first time the game was shown in public since the Winter CES. Of course, being a prototype, there are a lot of bugs in this version. This prototype was supposed to be used as a way to demonstrate the game to a focused test group and give their impressions on the game so far. Even though there's missing content and bugs, the main features of the game are still in place. You can still lay down tiles, roads, tracks, airports, and etc. However, I've come to notice that when I first played this version is that the donut layout for this game doesn't work at all. See, the donut method in the SNES version of SimCity is a strategy where you build a 3x3 residential or commercial zone with a hole in the middle of it. That hole in the middle is where you put the gift buildings, which you obtain by accomplishing goals in order to increase the property value around them. Layman's terms, the higher the property value, the bigger the buildings, therefore more money on taxes. This method is rendered null and void in the NES version because the gift buildings are bigger size than the regular size tiles, making it hard to build around them for efficient zoning. Hell, my first time was a mess when trying out this game for the first time. Even the citizens say so. I guess I should bury any ounce of a political career I have in my system. Time to be a firefighter! In relation to bad cities, I find it funny how in the back of the box it says, the quality of the life of the community depends on you. Will you build the ideal city, or will disgruntled citizens leave you with a ghost town? Harsh much? And harsh it is because I personally found it a bit more difficult to build an efficient city in this game compared to the SNES version, where I can build one and no problem. Money was short in places that I had no choice but to build more, but of course, if you ever heard of a sunk cost fallacy, the idea of my town being in ruins is inevitable. I took out a loan from the bank to help cover the cost, but even then that didn't help out as my funds start to run. At that point I come to accept the fact that my town was fucked. That was until the tax screen popped up, and I clicked go with the figures, then all of a sudden, I'm given a ridiculous amount of money. Did I hit all the numbers of the Powerball, or did the game just glitch out on me? So it turns out I ran into the free money bug, which is a bug that can be pulled off in the SNES version, but you had to rely on the L button in order to pull it off. According to the documentation, when you download the ROM from the game from the Video Game History Foundation, apparently it's a form of safety to keep you from losing in this prototype. Well, that's fan-fucking-tastic. The way how I played this game caused my own demise. Hey, but at least I get to spend this money however the hell I want now, so I guess it's a win for me, I guess. While we are still here, let's go over the similarities and differences between both the SNES and the NES version. Starting with the simple stuff, the title screens look similar in design, minus the fact the SNES version, the city in the background scrolls. The UI is more or less the same layout, and hey look, Dr. Wright is here in both games too. He's your advisor for those who never played the game. Now you know where his trophy in Smash Bros. Melee came from. The bank loan mechanic is the same, minus the tiny animation that is shown in the NES version. Now that is all the similarities that I found in my playthrough of both games. The differences are quite significant though. First things first, you're only limited to one save file compared to the two save files in the SNES version. Also, map 61 is no longer the best map in the game. Reason why, because in the SNES version, map 61 has the most land you can use out of many maps in the game. To be honest, I'm not going through the whole trouble of figuring out which map is the best in the NES version. There are 999 maps in total, which I'm not willing to go one by one. Staying on the topic of maps, the maps in the NES version are smaller. According to the documentation, the landform is only 76 by 76, while the SNES version is only 100 by 120 tiles. Also, why does Bowser look like Godzilla in the NES version? Guess it's only right for me to use this clip.
Run! It's Godzilla! It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla! Though it isn't.
Yep, I feel proud of myself. Let me pat myself in the back for that. Tangents aside, there is no magnifying glass in the NES version since it is exclusive to the SNES version. Just another way, you know, to flex the good old SNES muscles to no end. I'm surprised they are not sore after all those years. In the NES version, after typing out the name of your town, the game asks you to type your favorite word, almost as if they're taking a bit of an idea from Earthbound, whether intentional or not. I haven't gotten far into this prototype myself, but reading up on it, the word you choose becomes the name of your sister city in this game. Also, this might be a bug and not necessarily a difference nor a similarity, but whenever you place a seaport, no boat appears. In the game data, there are boat tiles to show you they were going to implement them, but of course the game got cancelled mid-development. There are more differences, but there are more technical in their asses. I don't want to bore any of my viewers what could potentially be word salad to you guys. I'll just leave all of my sources in the video description in order for some of my viewers to see the details that I glossed over. I highly recommend it. Final summation. We finally get to see a piece of history preserved once again. For all we know, this game could have been locked in Nintendo's deep archives, never to be shown again. Somehow by a stroke of luck, we are given something that can be played for the masses to enjoy, whether unfinished or not. This is why I'm for gaming preservation. And emulation goes hand in hand with that too, now that you think about it. But overall, my final score for SimCity for NES gets a out of 10.